I mean, I don't understand. She a legend. And just the disrespect, I can't get down with it. They booed her. People talk some trash to her. It's just very distasteful.
Picture Gainbridge Fieldhouse on a muggy Saturday night. Lights pulsing, banners shaking, and a restless crowd packing every corner from the baseline bar to the cheap seats in the rafters. Indiana had spent an off-season dreaming of a glittering trophy parade, convinced that a two-time most valuable player would guide them there. Instead, she bolted after 12 rocky games, and the dreams curdled into something far more volatile: grudge fuel. Her name is DeWanna Bonner, and her first trip back to Indianapolis was destined to be a powder keg. Standing across from her loomed Aari McDonald, a 5'6" dynamo who slipped into the vacancy Bonner left behind and promptly rewrote the scouting report on what smaller guards can do in the land of trees. One is a decorated legend with unfinished business. The other, a defiant underdog eager to carve her own myth. Their collision would feel less like a basketball game and more like an overdue reckoning. How did loyalty unravel this fast? And how did a hardship signing become the city's new hero? Buckle up. What happens over the next 40 minutes may tug at every thread of pride, betrayal, and redemption the league has to offer. Rewind just a few months. Indiana's front office sat at a gleaming conference table beneath fluorescent lights, believing they had pulled off the heist of the decade. Bonner, a 6'4" matchup nightmare, agreed to don fever red in what insiders called a championship or bust maneuver. Billboards flashed her smile along Interstate 65, morning radio promised finals fever, and advanced ticket sales spiked 20%. Then came the turbulence. Practices grew tense when youngsters demanded faster pace, while Bonner preferred deliberate half-court sets. An anonymous staffer claimed film sessions devolved into silent standoffs, with Bonner's notes on accountability ignored by teammates who felt she hogged the spotlight. Rumor mills churned, a disputed minute restriction clause, a disagreement over defensive rotations, whispers of Phoenix lobbying in the background. Whatever the truth, 12 games in, she surprised everyone with a 3-sentence statement. Effective immediately: I am stepping away from the Indiana Fever. I wish the organization well. No press conference, no farewell post, only a plane ticket. Within 48 hours, merchandise tables slashed her jersey price to $5, and broadcasters filled airwaves with pained monologues about commitment. Indianapolis suddenly had a Bonner-shaped hole at power forward and a swelling chip on its collective shoulder. Every crater invites something unexpected to grow, and that growth arrived wearing sneakers a full foot shorter than the one who left. Aari McDonald's story reads like a coach's clinic about perseverance. Drafted, traded, slipped down depth charts, and momentarily without a contract, she relocated so often her duffel bag remained half-zipped. When Indiana called, her first response was disbelief. She landed before dawn, slept 3 hours, and still reached the practice facility early enough that the custodian flicked on lights for her. 45 minutes of mid-range repetitions, 30 of defensive slide drills, then a self-imposed sprint ladder until assistant coaches waved it toward water. She kept asking for more film, more feedback, more responsibility. During her very first scrimmage, she ripped the steal at midcourt, accelerated like a wind gust, and scored through contact. Teammates exploded from the sideline as if they had just found a loose spark plug capable of jump-starting a stalled engine. Coaches saw it too. Inside 1 week, she logged the league's top speed on player tracking data and posted an assist-to-turnover line sharp enough to make analytics departments grin. Still, the contract said 10 days. Teams like Chicago sniffed around, but McDonald was all in. No hedging, no side eyes. Her mantra? Bloom where you planted. When Indiana converted her deal to a season guarantee, veteran Kelsey Mitchell summarized the locker room vibe. She drags the tempo into a higher gear, and we all gotta keep up. All of that combustible energy needed a stage, and fate offered a marquee matchup dripping with unresolved drama. 3 days before tip-off, Bonner posted a single cactus on her social feed. No caption, just the spiky silhouette that screamed desert. Within hours, basketball sleuths shared screenshots accusing her of orchestrating a return to Phoenix long before the official waiver saga played out. She deleted the post, but screenshots live forever, and they fanned an inferno of resentment. By game night, the concourse buzzed with homemade signs. Quitter Canyon, 2-time MVP, 1-time loyalty, and a cardboard cactus taped to a broom labeled "Sweeper Away." When Bonner emerged for warm-ups, the booing began. Not a scattered sprinkle, but a wall of sound that rattled the courtside monitors. Even the visiting Mercury stared in stunned silence as the hostility rolled down like thunder. Bonner's first jumper rimmed out, the jeers intensified, and cameras caught her exhaling slowly, jaw clenched. Meanwhile, the officiating crew missed 3 blatant travels by Satu Sabali within the first 8 minutes, sending Fever head coach Christy Sides into a sideline march that rivaled any college football tirade. To complicate matters, Sabali's stray elbow grazed Sophie Cunningham's jaw, momentarily freezing the gym as trainers checked for loose teeth. The whistle remained conspicuously silent, a choice that left both benches simmering. Indiana's veterans huddled mid-court, eyes wide, whispering, "Use it, use all of it." Phoenix still built a 10-point cushion, but anger has a strange way of mutating into adrenaline, and McDonald was about to trigger the mutation. Scoreboard read 30-20 when the second quarter opened. McDonald smelled opportunity the way a sprinter reads a false start. She intercepted a lazy swing pass, turned on afterburners, and finished with a left-hand kiss that left the Mercury trailing by steps. Next possession, she hesitated. Center defender skating backward, retreated beyond the arc, and buried a step-back 3 so pure that the net barely twitched. Crowd roar climbed from appreciative to deafening. On defense, she hounded ball handlers 45 feet from the basket, poked a dribble loose, and dove across the hardwood like a shortstop snagging a line drive. 12 unanswered points later, benches emptied fists toward the sky, and Caitlin Clark, still nursing her ankle, rose from her seat, cupped her hands, and waved the noise meter into red. Officials attempted a momentum check with a phantom blocking foul on Lexi Hull after she stuffed a driving layup. But replay on the Jumbotron clearly displayed forearm-to-leather perfection. The injustice only stoked the furnace. McDonald closed the half with 17 points, 3 steals, and a plus-minus so lopsided it looked like a typo. Indiana trotted into the locker room up 55-50, hearts galloping and ears ringing from the ovation. Halftime provided 15 minutes of oxygen, but everyone inside the building felt the plot thickening, especially the future Hall of Famer on the wrong side of the booze. Phoenix attempted to reassert order after the break, riding Diana Taurasi's veteran savvy and a couple of high ball screens to snag early buckets. But Aari had shifted into full conductor mode, zipping around picks, threading bounce passes that seemed to snake through defender shins, and drilling a 10-footer before the Mercury could adjust. When Bonner tried the classic mismatch exploitation, posting Lexi Hull 6 inches shorter, Hull dug into her stance, chest firm, forcing Bonner into a fadeaway. Aliyah Boston timed her help perfectly, elevating to swat the shot off glass with the violence of a volleyball spike. The building detonated. Camera operators replayed Boston's rejection 4 consecutive times, capturing Bonner's weary expression that bordered on disbelief. Meanwhile, the referee crew wiped 2 points off the board via questionable shot clock violation against Kelsey Mitchell, a decision that roused a symphony of boos nearly as loud as the original Bonner welcome. Yeah, even that setback failed to cool Indiana's surge. McDonald exploited every closeout angle, her first step turning defenders into statues, her floater splashing softly like a pebble in a pond. When she wasn't scoring, she was finding Boston, Smith, or Mitchell, and the stat sheet ballooned. 7 assists, 4 dimes of the highlight reel variety. The Mercury bench exchanged uneasy glances. Bonner muttered to a teammate, eyes flicking to the scoreboard, shoulders sagging as if the burden of expectation had doubled in weight. One final act remained, and it would decide whether the booze turned into outright catharsis or morphed into a gasp of regret. Nerves frayed on both sidelines as the fourth began. Indiana led by 2, but Phoenix still wielded star power and experience. Aliyah Boston entered with a mission. First play, she sealed her defender like a freight elevator door, took a lob over the top, and banked it home. Next trip, she bulldozed into the lane, shoulder low, finishing through contact while staring down the nearest ref to make sure the N1 whistle blew. Phoenix fronted her thereafter, so McDonald adjusted, dragging the defense left before firing a laser pass to Sophie Cunningham sitting wide open on the weak side. Cunningham released, net snapped, whistle followed, Foul on the closeout, basket good. The stands heaved upward like an erupting geyser. Indiana's bench flooded the hardwood, forcing officials to herd them back before the free throw. A 9-point swing in 90 seconds cracked the Mercury's resolve. Bonner, perhaps pressing too hard, launched a contested step back that barely brushed the rim. She jogged back on defense late, missing a rotation that allowed Boston another easy layup. Timeouts no longer healed Phoenix's wounds. They merely paused the bleeding. McDonald, sensing the knockout, skipped the three-point attempt, instead splitting a hedge to float an 8-foot teardrop that kissed the front iron and fell. On the return trip, she picked up Taurasi full court, harassing the veteran into an errant pass that sailed out of bounds. Bench players bumped chests in celebration. With less than a minute left, Mitchell sank 4 straight free throws, each one punctuated by collective chants of Aari, Aari. Final horn, Indiana 107, Phoenix 101. McDonald's line sparkled, 27 points on 7 of 11 shooting, 3 of 4 from deep, 6 assists, 3 steals. Bonner's ledger told a grim tale, 4 points, 2 rebounds, 1 lingering scowl. Scoreboards shut off, but emotions kept buzzing like loose electricity in the arena tunnels. Reporters swarmed the back corridors in search of quotes. McDonald emerged first, towel draped across shoulders, grin wide as the Ohio River. She spoke of gratitude, of staying ready, and of how teammates made the court feel small in the best way. She revealed that she texts her grandmother's motto, "Bloom where you're planted," before every game. Across the hall, Phoenix Public Relations announced Bonner would skip podium duty for treatment. Camera crews waited outside the visiting locker room anyway, catching muffled exchanges and the thud of a shoe against the locker door. Fans filing into the night checked their phones to see a fresh cactus emoji on Bonner's timeline, now accompanied by a zipper-mouth face. Interpretations flooded message boards within seconds. Meanwhile, online shops reported a backorder on McDonald's number 3 jersey before midnight. And her Instagram followers skyrocketed by 10,000 in under an hour. Local news anchors dubbed the evening the Pocket Rocket Takeover. National pundits debated whether Indiana's front office lucked into genius or subtly orchestrated Bonner's exit all along. Amid the noise, one fact held. Gainbridge Fieldhouse felt like it had finally reclaimed its heartbeat. Hearts rarely rest for long in professional sports. And the Fever's next opponent promised a fresh layer of intrigue. 72 hours after the Mercury dust-up, Indiana's charter plane touches down in the Pacific Northwest. Coaches pore over Seattle film, noting the Storm's rangy wings and their fondness for early clock threes. Practice drills emphasize transition defense and high-low feeds to Boston. One assistant floats the idea of a double point guard lineup, letting McDonald and Caitlin Clark tag team initiation duties to warp opposing pick-and-roll coverages. Clark vows she will be game-time ready, eager to test her ankle against elite competition. McDonald smiles at the thought, imagining lanes twice as wide with Clark drawing 2 defenders 28 feet from the hoop. Behind the scenes, management considers adjusting rotation minutes to keep the tempo blazing. "We want organized chaos," one scout quips. Across the country, Phoenix grapples with harsh headlines, painting them as listless and internally fractured. Analysts wonder if Bonner's exit gambit shattered locker room trust or merely exposed fissures that already existed. She now faces a brutal stretch of 4 road games in 6 nights, each hostile born, eager to mimic the Boo soundtrack Indy composed. Her redemption window's open, but the lock strains against public skepticism. Every storyline converges in the same question. Is Indiana a fleeting feel-good episode or the league's newest disruptor? Is Phoenix headed toward a mid-season overhaul? The answers will shape playoff races and reputations alike, and they hinge on whether a 5'6" point guard can keep bending games to her will. Some nights, 48 minutes of basketball capture years of tension, ambition, and identity in real time. DeWanna Bonner's departure cracked open wounds about loyalty, while Aari McDonald's ascent illustrated how opportunity often disguises itself as chaos. One franchise rediscovered its pulse. Another now sits through fragments of shattered expectations. Yet the season marches on, offering fresh chances for healings or deeper scars. So here's the thought to carry with you. Does the roar that crowned McDonald in Indianapolis mark the birth of a new powerhouse? Or is it merely the first act in an even wilder drama yet to unfold? Share your gut feeling below and circle the Seattle matchup on your calendar. The next chapter of this saga is only a tip-off away, And if tonight proved anything, it's that loyalty, pride, and heart can redraw the league map in a single evening.